Hello everyone, hope everyone's having a great day so far. I'm Leo Thaxton and I'm coming to you live from the summit of Bluff Knoll, which is the largest peak in Stirling Range National Park, Western Australia. You're listening to the Tea and Trails podcast with our hosts Eddie Sutton and Gary Threates. Woo!
Hello and welcome to the Tea and Trails podcast. Thanks for the intro, Leo, all the way from Western Australia.
Western Australia. You didn't do the accent. Come on.
Oh, I avoid the accents. Fear of cancellation. Two mistakes. I've made multiple mistakes, but two highlights in my life of mistakes. I went all the way to Australia, didn't go to the West. I went to New Zealand and didn't go to the South Island too.
I thought you were going to say I went all the way to Australia and I meant to go to Austria.
Oh, I'd love to go to Austria. Please keep those intros coming. Email them to hello@teaandtrails.com.
Would you move to Australia?
If it was
someone
closer.
said, if it was closer. But if someone said, I've got you a job, Gary, you're going to be a lifeguard, you're going to look sensational and you're going to be a lifeguard on Bondi Beach.
Tailor-made for me. I loved it. Absolutely loved our time there. We were there for about 6 months.
A long time, weren't you? Yeah.
Yeah. Driving around, went from everywhere apart from the West Coast. It was fantastic. There was moments where I was terribly homesick and it was just a bit too far away. And Red Hot Christmas on the beach, cry for me. My goodness me. It was terrible times. Just didn't sit, even though we're kind of heading into another gale at the moment. But it didn't sit well with me. But yeah, wonderful.
I also struggle. I struggled at the weekend when my sat-nav said you've got 5 hours something to drive. How do you deal with then when you get on the plane and it says 22 hours to your destination? Oh my God. Too far. Hello, listeners. Lacing up, cruising along, turning the volume up loud because the rain and wind are battering your hood so bad you can't hear a thing. Well done. If you're just settling in for your long run, first 15 minutes are always the worst. Pressing go on 10% incline on the treadmill or turning on, as I just said, that sat nav and realising, like I did on Thursday night, 4 hours 45 to your destination. Oh no! Thank you to our patrons for keeping us honest and for making us feel so loved. Join Patreon for a year and you save 10% on your membership. And if you join the Legend tier or above, we'll send you a bobble hat too. I found the deets, Gary. I just thought, how easy. How do you even join Patreon? So I did a little research test to see how easy it was, and it was as easy as pie. All you have to do is seamless. Is head to, just type in Patreon on Tea and Trails or www.patreon.com/CW/TNTrails to find out more deets.
Thanks to X Miles, Precision Fuel and Hydration, Harry Trail Running and Phoenix Light UK for sponsoring this week's show. X Miles is a family-owned independent endurance sports retailer that provides nutritional goods, apparel and accessories to help athletes perform and recover at their best. X Miles offer a wide range of high-quality products from leading brands, and the team of nutrition experts, cyclists, runners and outdoor enthusiasts can provide expert advice and guidance to help you reach your goals. Whether you're a seasoned athlete or just getting started, X Miles is the perfect place to find everything you need to succeed. Not just nutrition, X Miles stock gear too, Instinct Reflex belt that's going to be coming with me on the Northern Traverse, and I had a little squirrel's nut butter drop.
I bet you did after reading what happened on your recce. Let's just leave it at that.
Oh, that didn't turn up in time, unfortunately. Yes, sad times. Fancy trying some new products? Well, you might want to check out X Miles monthly nutrition box. New fuel every month. It's the easiest way to try fresh products and flavours at below normal prices. I scoffed a mixed berry energy bar on the way to, oh my goodness me, what's the village called before you start the climb out of Motherley on the Northern Traverse? It was my little pre-run bit of carb boost. Inglebury, yeah, beautiful little place. I've only ever been there twice, once with you. I got a PR coming out of Inglebury, so I did a little bit faster than we did it 2 years ago.
Well, you were just starting. That was our day 4, wasn't it?
Listeners can get 10% store credit at www.xmiles.co.uk via the link in the show notes. If you're looking for all the discount codes, then head over to patreon.teaandtrails.com or check out the show notes where you will find our link tree. Also, stick around to the bitter end if you want to be in with a chance of winning a fabulous Phoenix head torch. After our chat with Tonya, Eddie, I did the knee to wall test.
What are we looking at? What's centimetres?
Oh, wow. What it was like, I don't know what was in centimetres. I read 4 to 5 inches was a good range of motion.
Sure you did your feet.
Pass the test. My feet have never caused me a problem in a race that would stop a race. Yeah, I do get quite a lot of black toenails, and I think that was one of the side effects of not a great range of motion. But yeah, happy to report. The ultras are safe.
The ultras are safe. Oh, I've got so much to tell you, but I don't know where to start. Let's start with the beginning of the week when we, before we both met our makers on the Northern Traverse route.
Monday was a complete write-off. I don't think I ran Tuesday either, but I wasn't phased as far as maybe what the week would look like. I had such a big weekend planned that I knew I'd hit the metrics that I like to hit, and yeah, it was it turned out to be a massive weekend. It was just great to spend so much time getting dirty on the Northern Traverse.
I bet pity you were on your own getting dirty, but then, needs must, eh?
Well, there's some
the girls
benefits
did
to
say,
that.
why didn't you invite Gary? And I kept saying, what is wrong with me? Why do you keep going on about Gary? I said, the thing is, we spend a lot of time. I don't think people realise how much time that we spend together during the week.
Much.
More time than anybody else in my life. I spend looking at you eye contact. It's an intense relationship. But I said he would have loved it, but there was a lot of girly stuff going on that you would have, you'd have just loved it. Fanny's out everywhere doing weeds.
Three
and
sisters.
everything.
Well, I'm not used to that side of it.
But I also said we need the content. If we both went together, we'd be two. And also, they did pull me up. They did also your stories, Eddie. Gary would be like, Eddie, that's not what happened.
Oh, I've known you for a few years now, Eddie.
You know the truth.
I've got a question. My inflatable
It doesn't normally
mattress.
look like that. No, it's not. That's not right.
My inflatable mattress is a puncture, and I was curious what your sleeping system's going to be for Northern Traverse.
I definitely won't have an inflatable mattress.
You're not going to do that, okay?
Oh, do you mean in my
In your job bag?
I had a vision of you with like one of those lilos that's got the little pillow, and you being like, I can't deflate it, so I'm just going to carry this. Will I have I will have my sleeping bag for sure. I probably won't bother with a mattress, no. What I did when I slept at Richmond, because that was the only place I slept, was you get in the tent and then I just laid all my kit and slept on that and my sleeping bag. But I can sleep on anything. But it was very cold. So
yeah,
if you're wanting a good night's sleep, I could not be bothered, Gary. I could not be bothered to inflate it and deflate it. And again, in all of this, do you, if you want a better night's sleep and be more prepared than me, then do it.
Beyond finishing, you don't have to share this if you don't want to. I'm happy to share my goals. But have you got a goal just beyond finishing the race?
No, finish. Run to every gate. Run to every gate and finish.
Run when you see a photographer. Whether this is possible or not, I've got no idea. I'm having serious second thoughts after how long it took me to do my recce's over the weekend, how that will translate to that point in the race too, after I've been running for a couple of days. But I would love it if I didn't go into the third night.
I've done lots of these now, and I've not done any of them with a bloom or with pride they've all been horrendous. And so I'm not worried about time, but I just want to get that feeling right, right and not spend, I think I was like, just so long in the
dwell time.
So I think, but there's nothing I can do if it happens, then I have to, because I've got to be able to get some calories in. So I'm not worried about the time. No,
I'm hoping that with the effort being reduced significantly, that it doesn't trigger the puking, because if I've got 50 hours of being sick,
enjoy. Yeah, it's a lot, isn't it? And it's a lot to get your head around. And I think recce's are great, but I think also they can put the fear of God into you, rightfully so. So they should. So I did quite a lot. I had a lot of work because I had to be down at Reeth, where we were starting on, we weren't even starting there, but I had to be there down on Thursday night. I couldn't leave till quite late on Thursday, and I had to get all my work done before Thursday, because I also knew that Sunday would be a write-off, and I normally do quite a lot of work on Sunday. Oh my gosh, I had so much to do. And then I left too late, and the weather was horrendous. And I think it took me 5 hours 45. And the last bit, I was driving over like the Tan Hill Road in like sleet, rain, horrendous.
I'd have pulled in, got a bed for the night.
Shouldn't I? I did decide to do a workout. I was like, shall I do a workout? Normally when I have really high volume week, I think, I'm not going to do a workout, but I want to keep my workout. I want to keep my streak going. So I decided, Gary, to do a 3 minutes. Yeah.
No way.
I had to lift
100%.
my knees. I had to lift my knees a little bit. But I thought, I don't really want to grind. I don't want a volume workout. But then I don't really want to do 5 minutes and do less. If I do a lower number of 5 minutes now, I'm just so used to these hypes. So I did 3 minutes.
Yeah.
The last minute of those 3 minutes, I was like, I've not been in this heart rate zone for a while. And I thought I'd got away with it, but my butt cheeks were definitely a little bit sore, top of my hamstrings. And I've got no self-control. So, of course, the last 3 or 4, I was like, put it up, let's do this.
Love it.
But I did manage to leave with most of my work done. Sorry, athletes. We're a bit on Monday, I've had a few messages going because I have to hit publish on my workout plans because I plan it all, but then I don't let them see it until it's finalized because otherwise, like everybody, they get if I change stuff. And then a few of them, anyway, sorry, everybody. It was all yesterday was horrendous, but managed to get a workout done and the easy miles before I left. Did you do a workout?
Yeah, back on the 10 times 3 minutes again. But
classic.
I increased the speed. So like I said, I think a couple of weeks ago now, I've started recording the metrics, the speed, the elevation, etc., and then trying to track my heart rate. So I've been flirting with about 9.7 on the treadmill.
How does that look? Yeah, you like it?
It looks like my legs don't connect to my body. They're moving. They feel like they're moving really fast, but I think it's saying like 6 minute mile or something, which is quick. I'm not saying it's not quick, but if I was running that on the road,
6 minutes on a treadmill, I couldn't. No, I could. It's just.
but that went well. You know, I did it. I got on the last few sets of those 3 minutes. I was right in the 150s. So that was perfect. That's exactly where I want to be.
I noticed on my heart rate too on the 3 minutes. I got almost 45 seconds free standing.
Yeah.
So much longer. If I go into over the 160s, I get like, I'm watching it and I'm like, that's 20, 30 seconds where I wasn't doing anything and it's giving me kudos.
I couldn't do a float though. I need a walk after that. The other session was, I didn't have to do it incline, but I wanted basically, because when I do 10 times 3 minutes, as much as I love it, it's really rubbish for watching Netflix and I get no elevation. So on the other session was 2 times 10 minutes and then 2 times 5 minutes. I think I put the treadmill at 10% because it's the first time I've done this session. The first 10 minutes, I don't actually think I got into the correct zone.
It takes a while, yeah.
But once I found my feet, it was fine. And because my legs were moving at a sensible cadence, I could actually watch what was going on the TV. So yeah, I got a bit of vert, not as fast, but got some elevation and the 10 times 3 minutes.
Oh, it's good. I think with those longer vert 10 minutes, anything like, because it's like a strength as well as a heart rate beats, you have to really, you can't like, with a 3 minutes, you can almost like bash into it a little bit and be like, you do need to build into those 10 by 3, but the build is much smaller, whereas like a longer rep on an incline, your starting speed compared to your ending speed it's quite a big difference, but it's almost like the body, you're like crank it. Also when we've got old diesel engines like ours,
I do enjoy the 10 times 3 minutes because if your mind drifts, you might check yourself and your form might be a bit ragged, and then you just kind of compose yourself, relax, drop the shoulders, and you feel your heart rate go down. It's incredible.
3 or 4 beats, and then you're like, okay, that is doable. And also with 3 minutes, the first minute is okay. The first minute is okay, and then you get to 1 minute 30, and you go, no, I can't only be halfway. No. And then you're on the last minute, and then you're just staring at the longest 45 seconds of your life.
Fingers crossed, touching wood and everything. I seem to fly close to the wind and get away with it. But I do I run to food. I ran when I turned up at Robin Hood's Bay, straight into the chippy. When I went to the pub, straight in, got a bowl of chips and a lime and soda.
Did you stand over the fireplace? We stood over and just recreated the magic because I
made a dramatic entrance. Do you realise what I've just done, people? I was like say Lord of the Rings or something like that when the weary traveller comes in off
the doors come open. And then did you walk round everyone's table and just go, what are you doing? Can I have a chip? You see the stats? Can you see that 8 mile? That 8 mile, that's a little bit slower than the others because I had a wee.
I'm doing the Northern Traverse. When I checked into the pub, she said, it looks like you've been for a walk. I'm like,
we had that. You've been on a long walk? Well, yes.
I nearly
Tell me-
flexed, but I didn't.
Yeah, I just was like, just give me the key. Have you got water? Tell me about recce then. Let's talk it through. What did you do?
Basically did the whole of the Moors Traverse. I got dropped off at the A19. Lisa took me to the A19. Then I ran all the way to the Line In of the Three Sisters, Blakey Ridge. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Spent the night at the Lion Inn, which was incredible.
Is it a nice pub? Because I've only ever been in it, had a cup of tea in there with you, but
It was, I don't know how it was so busy. Literally, there's nothing there. I suppose it's pretty similar to Tan Hill, this pub in the middle of nowhere.
Well, when I drove past Tan Hill, car park full. But people must have to drive like a good half an hour to get there.
Lots of designated drivers for that pub. But yeah, it's brilliant. You know, the room was great, apart from the fact that the bath took about a week to fill up. Went in the bathroom about 10 minutes later.
Watched Traitors, drank some tea, had your dinner.
I was watching Michael McIntyre. I was having the time of my life. And then the second day, I'm very familiar with that section, the Moors, Blakey Ridge, Bloath Crossing, but I'm not so familiar with the other section from the Line in all the way to Robin Hood's Bay. Someone told me it overlaps some of the Like Wake race route, but it's wonderful. It's such a different landscape. You do start off in the Moors, then you will go through little villages, nice little villages on the Moors, and then you go through some like woodland area too before you hit the coast. I was cursing that coastal run because you must spend 3 or 4 miles.
That's where I hung off the fence because I couldn't get out because it was so muddy.
But then I'm sure like when Wainwright was doing his walk and he wanted to explain this route, he would be silly if he didn't have a section on the physical coast. You couldn't just run straight into Robin Hood's Bay. Then
I'd be more than happy. I'd be more than happy just to stop at that caravan park. Can we just?
You will notice though massive improvements to the trail. Like you were saying the other day about the flagstones to the 9 standards. The trail has improved massively from the Lion Inn onwards. They're still doing loads of work, so hopefully come the end of March, it's all finished. Even though when you're there at the Lion Inn, you do the maths, you think it's not actually that far to go to the end. It just takes ages, and when you're moving slow. So that's my worry, is how my mind is going to cope when I know what I've been like, say, on the Lakeland 100, when you're coming towards, you've done the Ambleside checkpoint and there's some runnable sections, but your body's just saying walk. You're like doing deals with yourself. 2-minute run, 1-minute walk.
Perfect. It's all, so what all your energy goes into is like forcing yourself to run the run bit.
Rookie era, I didn't wear any underwear under my tights, and my nuts, they are now currently red raw. That's all I'll say. I could feel every swing as they grazed my thighs.
Pendulum. Grazed your thighs as they tapped my kneecap.
That is when, I suppose because I never really run for that long, so if I forget to put any undies under my tights, I wouldn't normally put, what's your stand on this? Underwear under running tights?
I'm a lady, I would, yes.
Okay,
I would always have underwear on under tights. Cycling shorts I wouldn't actually, but tights it feels like more...
Well, I think because they were drooping down my legs, so I kept hiking them up.
What
and
was, your balls?
I created this perfect storm down below.
So was it sore after day one then in your bath?
Yeah, I could feel it. Feel it on day one.
Going.
Sore in the bath.
How was fueling?
Fueling was fine. I just always feel that you do feel a little bit hungry. The gels are great. They keep the carbs in, but they don't kind of satisfy the appetite. So I think I must have had over the goodness knows how many Precision Fuel and hydration gels, and then supplemented with toffee crisps.
Oh, I love that. I always have a packet of sweets. Jelly Babies I find works well. So in one of my side pockets, there's a big packet of sweets for just like that little gate, through the gate. You've had a gel like maybe 10 minutes ago, but you're like, so it's another 10 minutes until your next big eat. Let's just keep supplementing it with...
Well, I did have in my bottles, it would have been the pH, Precision Fuel and Hydration carbon drink mix. So there was carbs coming in there. I did have some Kendall Mint cake too. So if you're climbing a hill, you're not running, you're going through a gate, whatever it is,
you're
like that.
Bored. You get bored. Just shove something in your mouth. That's what I do daily.
If people are, this race will have like international entrants. If anyone's worried about the nav, I think the signage has been improved since you did it. I think over the 50 miles I did, I might have put on 10 meters extra than what I should have done. It was super easy between that and your...
Incredible.
I am incredible. Yeah, loved it. Absolutely loved it. But pooped. What about yourself? You had a blast. I didn't realise it was so big.
Yeah, maybe it was big. They were big days. There are always big days when you turn up with the girl gang. Like Lucy won't get out of bed for less than 50k. So we did from St Bees to Reeth. In the end, Lucy and I, we were joined by Robin and Zoe for the first 2 days. And Stuart joined us for let me get the day right, Saturday, which is my dream, amazing group of runners. So we left our cars in Reeth, Lucy and I. We shared a romantic night somewhere, can't remember where. And then we got a taxi, 3 hours taxi. Oh, like I'd had a really long drive.
You don't tell me how much, but that must have cost a fortune.
No, it didn't actually, because we shared it between 4 of us.
All right, okay, not so bad.
And so I think it was about, we haven't done our final bills, but I think it was about £40 each. So actually, you know, the thing about recce, that like you do have to throw a bit of like, that route is not easy to recce. You can only do big days on it really to get to civilization. So you are going to have to spend a bit of money on transport. So we got some bees, we had a cup of tea. So we didn't actually start the first day, but the first day was our shortest day, easiest day, because there's a lot of running in the first day to get to Ennerdale. The coast path has fallen off the cliff.
I heard about this, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know, a lot we climbed, we managed it, but we had to climb, it was all shut, saying don't do this footpath.
Okay.
So don't know what will happen there, but it was fine. And then round. Now, this is where I made a terrible, these girls are going to throw me under the bus. They were like, Gary, you have thrown Gary under the bus so many times. So I had my Topo Vista Athletics, which I wear on tricky terrain, but they make my toes slightly sore. And I was a bit nervous, even though I thought I'm going to wear them for the first half of this race. We were going to get in the taxi and I went, I'm going to change my shoes into my On Cloud Pro Trail shoes.
Goodness me.
They are so, I was like, shall I go? I know I won't get any blisters. I won't get sore feet at all. They're so comfy to run in, but I've never run on them on technical terrain. But I didn't think that because I run around here in them all the time, but I'm not actually running on like Lake District terrain. The minute we hit those rocks around Ennerdale Water, I could not. And I wore my Montane Gecko 20 litre, which was moving all over my back. I could not balance. I was like Bambi. My ankles, I went over on my ankles, they are still so sore today, about 3 million times. Anytime anyone ran behind me, which was very rarely because they were like, what are you doing, Eddie? And then all the bog, the mud, I'd no grip.
Horrendous.
It was horrendous. Anyway, you know me, Gary, didn't whine much. And they were like, you throw Gary under a bus for wearing shoes. I was like, I know, but I don't. Yeah. Anyway, so we finished the first day, lovely. We were blessed with really quite good weather. Though I had my waterproof on, I forgot my lightweight. So I like a merino. Hey, I wore that Harrier merino top for 3 days, Gary.
Yeah, same here.
Sensational. Warm. I was really warm. I dried really quickly. I did smell a bit, but hey ho. No chaffing. I did have to tape my back, but that's only because I hadn't taped it the first day. But apart from that, it was really, really good.
Day one, my bag moved around a lot, but then I'd repacked it on Saturday night and it was so much better. But my shoulders and my back, I didn't get any chafing or blisters, but over days and days and days, that's something to... So you tape your back normally? I never do that.
Yeah, I tape my back, but I didn't on the first day, but then I did the second and the third day, and that was so much better. So it was only 6 hours, I think, the first day, 29 miles, about 6,000 feet, and we stopped at Borrowdale Youth Hostel. We finished with Eddie having a massive bonk because I got my period on that day, which I knew was coming, but it really affects us ladies, is the carb. You have to really eat the carbs, and I didn't eat enough carbs, and I thought we were finishing somewhere where we didn't, so I thought, I won't take that. I thought there's 2 miles left. There was like 6 miles left, a long descent. I was wobbling all over I was like, it was awful.
I bet the descents were slower than the climbs with those shoes.
Especially with Eddie in those shoes. Girls are like, that's like they've gone. All right, here I come. Anyway, sorted myself out. Definitely felt that first day I didn't feel my finest. Borrowdale Youth Hostel, very nice. Very nice.
Oh, lovely.
Shared a room. Really nice. They really sorted us out. Lots of food, pizza, chips, so much water. We were all so dehydrated, really hungry by the time I got to Borrowdale. But fed loads of food. I didn't sleep very well. Had a few twinges of cystitis-y feeling, which is a horrible feeling. It feels like you need a wee, but you don't really need a wee. A bit of burning, Joey and Friends, burns when you pee. Yes. And I woke up a few times and I was like, oh, that's not very nice. Oh, that's not very nice. Anyway, our breakfast wasn't brilliant. I had 2 bowls of Rice Krispies. Well, not enough, Gary. Banana, some yogurt. Off we go, meeting Emma in Rosswaite, which I think is where the checkpoint is. Yeah. And off we go So a bit windy, but again, dry, viz, that's all you want for a recce. Emma brings an energy which no one else can bring. She is brilliant.
Did you bring her dogs?
She didn't this time because Sky wouldn't eat her breakfast. So she was like 50k.
Yeah.
She is incredible. She didn't draw breath. She doesn't need to. She is going at her zone 1. And she just chat. Love all the stories. She hurt her shoulder from some dodgy cow she's always having wrestling battles with the cows. It was so nice for her to join us. I love that bit. So we climbed up and then down to Grasmere, bit of Grasmere, then up again to Grisdale Tarn, relived at the moment with the wind where the waves were actually going over our heads. Dropped down then into Patterdale. Oh my God, I got such every bit. I was like, this is so long. This is so long. One of the hotels was opened in Patterdale, so we refilled. They weren't very happy to see us. We got some Cokes. We ate, Lucy's incredible, 3 bags of crisps, peanuts. I was just filling my pockets because I was like, I'm so scared about not bonking. There was just not enough food, and again, you need a sandwich. We needed a sandwich really, which we didn't have, but filled peanuts, 2 bags of crisps, put Coke in my bottles, refilled my bottles, and off we go. That big old climb up to Angleton and then on to Kidsey Pike. That is a whoop.
That's a slog. That's the highest point, isn't it?
Yeah, a little bit tricky navigation, just going over the top. A little trick for anyone doing it, just stay by the wall, stay by the fence to get over to the line. Kidsey Pike, lovely. Then there's a lovely long descent off Kidsey Pike. So even if you've got On Cloud Pro Trail shoes on, and then it drops down and then you get a little bit more technical onto the stone. And this was a bit of a drama. I came off that bit and then it's a steep grassy bank, and I went absolutely flying. Set my watch off again. This time, because I've had 2 quite big falls in the last 2 weeks, as I was falling and it starts going emergency alert, I was like, yes, I know I need to press, don't stop the route, press send the I'm okay button. Anyway, I fell right on my, if you're watching, I can just show you my massive thumb pad. It really hurt. I fell on my poles, twisted and fell on my poles, bashed my ankle. I was like, I've broken it. I've broken my hand. It's just no good. Anyway, it really, really hurt. Felt really sorry for Mouse, but obviously.
Do you think you had more drama than everybody else put together?
Yes. I was like, what's wrong with Eddie? So the girls are so lovely. Got down to the bottom. They'd like eaten a whole packet of sweets going, what are you doing, woman? And I was like, I'm gonna hurt my hand a bit. And of course, Robin and Zoe are like, oh my gosh, sure, no, Eddie. Lucy's like, now this is actually, what are you doing? And Emma's like, no, I dislocated my shoulder yesterday, but it's actually fine. She's so tough. Anyway, we're like, have a snack. We'll just have a little, all fine. All is fine. It's just a bit bruised. I stopped for a pee. It burns so bad, Gary. It's so painful. And then when we start running again, my bladder is hurting so bad. And I'm like, oh my God, I've got a UTI. And what am I going to do? And I thought, I wonder if anybody's got, like, what you need is this stuff called Sister Calm, which is like almost intense. Within an hour of taking that, it's just resets everything. And I think I just got so dehydrated. I thought, I wonder if any of the girls have got any of their first aid pack. Caught them up. I was like, I don't suppose anyone's got any. Oh my God, Eddie, you are a high maintenance friend right now. I was having to hold my lady garden as I was running because it was so painful.
That name Sister Calm just makes me laugh. I don't know.
Emma was like, oh, Eddie, I get that all the time. Don't worry, we can sort it. Oh, I know. When I did Winter 200, I had to stop every 10 steps and just pull my pants down, peeing over everything. I was like, oh, she's so great. She's like, I'll ring James. He's coming to pick me up. He'll get some for you. I was like, oh, no, I don't know. I was like, oh, no, I don't even know James. She was like, he loves you, Eddie. He listens to the podcast. It'll be fine. I was like, oh, my God. What a soul to the earth. She rang him up. He couldn't find any in the bathroom cabinets. She's like, it's the stuff for me, not for the cats, James. Don't bring the cat stuff. And I was like, I could be embarrassed, but also if I don't get some of this, it's game over. I'm in such pain. Please, can you just bring me some? He went to Morrison's and bought some for me.
What a champ.
We got into Shap and he was there with little packets. No, like, here we go. It's Eddie. Here we go. I was like, oh my God, cute. Big love.
He's a good guy.
James and Emma.
Guy, James.
James and Emma for like, not even like, I can sort this out. Like, no, you could, it'd be fine. And honestly, I don't think if I'd got it, because within a few hours, I was fine. And then I took some during the night, the next day. So it's going to be added. And also maybe if you are a little bit susceptible to a UTI, you've got your period, you might get dehydrated, add a couple of sachets to your first aid bag. I will not do recce's again without them. But it also really scared me into that I got myself in that dehydrated state, which was good as well, because I was now looking at my hydration for the race as well. So Lucy and I had thought, maybe we'll just carry on. We'll get to Shap, have some dinner. Shall we just run overnight to Reeth? Because
why? Oh, why would that ever seem like a good idea?
And then we thought, no, that's too far. We'll be ruined. Let's just run on to Kirby Stephen.
Yeah.
So that's what we planned to do. But as we were going into Shap, I was holding my fanny, crying. I wasn't crying. Broken arm, sore fanny. And we were like, I think Lucy was like, I am not dragging this girl's ass. We were pretty, really thirsty, really hungry. And we thought, actually, shall we just stop and reset? And this is where Lucy's obviously so experienced, especially having done the coastal path. She's like, I actually think if we stop in Shap Eddy, we have loads of food. We will catch up with our future selves. If we start at 6 the next morning, we will catch up with ourselves by like 10 or 11, because if we carry on, we're going to get to Kirby Stephen at 10.
Oh, it sounds horrendous.
And then there's not going to be
shout.
any food. Then we're not going to get started again until the next day. So we sort of both of us don't want to fail. But we said we'd go on to Kirby Stephen, but actually it was so the right call. So we literally rang a pub and said, can we stay with you? We then walked into where we thought we were staying. We were like, this is lovely. We walked in, we said, we've got a room reserved. She was like, we don't have rooms here. I was like, well, can we just stay? It's really warm. She's like, you're just down the road. And then we walked into the next place.
In the slaughtered lamb. Brilliant.
It was like they were like, there's locals here playing darts, and we were like, oh no. Anyway, it was fine, but we went back up to the nice warm place and had the biggest meal. We ate everything pretty much off the menu. The fire was lit. We were so happy we'd made the right decision. And we stopped at the co-op, got loads of snacks, and then we went up to the room and we lay on the bed and we watched the Traitors final in our pants together. Me airing my
No spoilers.
swollen bits. We were like, this is so the right decision. That was all fine. It was so lovely running with Robin and Zoe and Emma. They were just brilliant company, and we thanked them. Well, I thanked them, because obviously it was slower than what they could have done 2 days in, but they're just such lovely girls, so nice to run with. Obviously, Robin is so fit, Zoe's such a fast runner, and little old Eddie. guys, tell me a long story and carry all my snacks.
I couldn't do that with anybody. I had nobody I could ask a leading question to.
I know. It's so, I just feel so like Zoe just handing me a pot of lube, just going, Eddie, just rub this everywhere. Let's see. The bond you have with these people. It's always me that it's like, I'm like, can anyone else just, anyway. So we set the alarm 5:15. I was like, oh, Luce, I think we could, set it for 5:45, leave at 6. She's like, no, you need 45 minutes in the morning. Good call. Off we went, 6 o'clock, head torches on. But actually it was, we went really well over to Kirby Stephen. It was nearly all in the dark, but it's pretty much going to be in the dark in the race. So it was quite good practice to do nav, head torch, getting going again. That was probably the bit I enjoyed the most, actually, going over to Kirby Stephen. It's really nice. It wasn't too wet, so fields weren't too sloppy. Got to Kirby Stephen. We knew we were going to stop at the Costa. Got into the Costa, Gary. No vegetarian option. I have to have a sandwich. And so we just had to have a bit of a meat fest.
It's a nightmare being a vegetarian. What about a scone? Lisa loves a fruit scone or a tea cake.
It had to be a sandwich. I needed something hot. That was the only. Yeah, got to be hot. And Lucy was like, 15 minutes. We get 15 minutes in here. And my tea was too hot to drink. She was standing over me going, you need to walk with that. And I was like,
I don't like the sound of this, Eddie. This is
I was like,
too much pressure.
No, I can't. I need to drink it in here. I got to, because otherwise I'm going to burn my mouth. But she's so good. No, absolutely. Because she was getting me back to the car because she knew I had 5 hours to drive. She's like, you're just going to burn through. I totally would have sat in there for an hour and a half staring at my phone. And she's totally right. So off we go. Then it's up to, I said it wrong yesterday, wasn't it? It's 9 standards.
9 standards, yeah.
So if you're going out the checkpoint, it's all uphill, just tap, tap, tap up the road. And then what used to be a bog is now slabs all the way.
It's amazing, isn't it?
It is amazing. Brilliant. Slabbed all the way up over the top, very exposed, very windy. And then it's slabbed all the way down towards the Yorkshire Farm, as I call it, round the back of that, where the Yorkshire Shepherdess.
Are they still there?
There was nobody. It was so remote there. There was nobody there.
I wonder if you're on race day, because you're going to be 80 odd miles in. I wonder if you're cursing those slabs.
The DOMs, if they were icy, I'd be cursing them. They would be terrifying, but they were great. And then you don't need to do any nav, because it was really tricky nav over those. You kept coming off the path. All you have to do is trick, trot along the slabs.
Yeah.
Down behind Keld, that to me is one of the worst bits. It's so, do you remember that bit? You had your carbons on. We did that as well. So muddy and sloppy, and I was flying all over
still
the
like
place.
that, okay.
And
did you drop into Kelds, the little shop?
Did we? Heck, we were on
Too
a
far off the
mission.
trail. Yeah.
Too far off the trail. Went past that, and then the bit round the tin mines is a bit of tricky nav, and it's a lot. It's hard. You need to be well fueled into that bit, because there's a couple of really steep little ups that get your butt cheeks going.
It's a big stretch, isn't it?
It's a big stretch. We were cold. We were very cold and wet by then. And we'd done 110 miles or so by then. No, not quite that much. We hit the 100-mile bit around there. Yeah, we were on our eating everything. Bodies become this drinking everything. We make a good little team, because basically Lucy goes in front, and I'm like this sort of faithful dog that just never goes. Just trot behind her. She gets a little bit in front, so then I just have to run a little bit more up the hill. Off I go. She looks back. I'm still there. So we go quite a long time.
The glance back.
I'm still there. And I'm very happy. I just follow her wherever I follow it was. I just follow her. And we chat away, or we just quiet. We just keep going. Yeah,
I like that.
A very contented relationship.
How were you with the constant, it wasn't horrendous weather, but it was a constant struggle into
the headwind, even going downhill. So that when you come the last bit of the tin mines, then you have long, maybe 3-4 miles of track.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's fantastic.
And we were running, but with a headwind. And so you were it was just I kept thinking, can I just slot behind Lucy? But so that it was hard, constant. And then also, if you're running with someone, it makes talking really hard, because you can't hear anything. Even when you're next to each other, you just got to be you get a bit silent a bit. So yeah, the headwind was tough. That was tough, but it's what we paid for. That last day was really good at reminding me about how hard I'd forgotten how hard big days are back to back, and how I was this is nothing. But I was feeling tired. I had some thoughts of I can't do this. It's too far. What am I thinking? I had to be forcing the nutrition in. I was running bits where I was just walk, and I was
it's perfectly normal, isn't it? In the moment, you kind of get yourself down with it, but on reflection,
now looking back, I'm what? That's it's food. You just got to keep eating. I made a lot of bad errors. I forgot my mid layer that I really wanted, sitting on the table all ready to go. I had the wrong bag. Then I didn't have my poles. I wasn't able to put them in my quiver, which I will. So I had to put them on my back, which really hurt. I've got a joint that's a little bit inflamed. Shouldn't have done that. So then I had to just carry them. So my bag was different. Everything that I didn't want was bad. Shoes. But it's really focused me in that, I really got to take this seriously. Don't be nonchalant. You've got to really want to do this. If you want to do these long races, you've got to be really prepared, and you've got to be really mentally prepared to go to some dark places, but not be scared about being in that dark place, and knowing that the highs and the lows. So, and also spending time with all those girls who are, Emma was I'm not a world-class athlete. I was well, I don't know, you're not. Just what I feel so privileged to watch how they move and what they do, and to be able to be 50 meters behind them for the whole 3 days is just I feel so lucky to spend time with them all, and to that last day with Lucy, just watching how she operates. But she's also a normal person. Feel so lucky to have them in my life, and also all the laughing and everything was just amazing. So yeah, but wow, it's
you pay the price.
You pay the price. So yeah, thanks, and a big heavy flex to James for saving my fanny.
thanks Phoenix Light for sponsoring Brew the Coaches. The best design comes from the actual needs of users. Phoenix Taste provide mobile lighting products with excellent performance as the goal and born for harsh environments as its mission. Never forget why you started and your mission can be accomplished. Head over to www.phoenixlight.co.uk to find out more. If you've got a question for us or for the coaches, just head over to teamtrails.com and follow the link to the coaches contact form. And a quick heads up, because of the way we record the show, we might not get to your question before your race, when your injury clears up, or whatever situation you're dealing with. But don't worry, we may still cover it on a future episode, especially if it's something other listeners might connect with. What head torch did you pack? I packed my HM65R, the version 2 one for my weekend recce. I was chasing the lights. Sunday was fine, but Saturday, running along Blakey Ridge, I was chasing the light. Luckily, I didn't need to turn it on.
We turned ours on, I think, just, did we? I can't remember if we turned it on coming down into Borrowdale. I don't think, we did. No, we didn't, but we did turn it on coming down into Shat, but we could have done without it, but it was mainly just that last little bit, like last half mile is on the road. And so we just turned it on for that. And then we needed ours for the first 2.5. We kept it on for quite a long time because that dull winter light is actually not brilliant when you're coming out of the dark into the lights. We probably had about 2.5 hours of head torch action. Best head torches around, aren't they?
If I've got the weight in the bag for Northern Traverse, I think I'm just going to chuck them all in and all the spare batteries.
Definitely we'll have two. And a spare battery. Yeah, absolutely. Don't forget, patrons can enjoy 10% off, and all you lovely listeners get 5% off with the code TNT5. All discount codes are either in the description, Linktree or Patreon.
I live in a flat city, and although I can get out to the trail, sometimes I'm looking for advice on sessions I can do locally after work. It's a flat area, but there are plenty of multi-storey car parks with lots of stairs. How can I use these to train for hills? Should I take the steps one at a time or two at a time? Should I walk back, down, or use the lift? Any session suggestions from the coaches would be really helpful, Leah. Well, I think it's great that you're already entering into this kind of problem solving, because as ultra runners, we do need to solve many problems when we're out on the course. Rebecca, any tips? Multi-story tips for Leah?
Not a route I've had to go down. I think kudos to you for looking for solutions to the problem that you have, particularly if you're looking to enter hilly races. But for me, the sort of running up and down stairs in multi-storey car park with that sort of background odour of disinfectant / urine is probably not something I would want to spend my time doing. But needs must, and absolutely, you've got to look at where you can get that type of training in when you live somewhere flat. So stairs definitely can be part of that. For me, I've always sort of used incline treadmill, but steps, that's a very specific type of training as well. And there's lots of courses which do require you to go up and down lots of stairs, or there's lots of step ups in terms of the terrain. So I think that definitely can be useful, difficult to pull off in a city.
Might be a bougie car park, Bex.
It might. I think that's what it would have to
be. Concierge at the bottom.
And I think if you run up, I would definitely run down as well. Get the benefit of doing the downhill as well. That would be what I would say.
Isn't there a race up the Empire State Building? And you have to go up the steps. Yeah, maybe that's what's. I wonder what you're training for, because that would be quite. If you're training for one of the Madeira races that's got lots of steps, this would be ideal. Trish, if she was coming to you for advice, what would you say?
Going upstairs is a great way to train for sure. The only thing you need to be cautious of is doing too much too soon. So, for example, if you're going, it's not so much the climbing, but the descending on stairs has a huge impact. I mean, it's a lot of stress. It's a lot of stress on the body if you're doing consistently. So I would say it's definitely good training, and you descending on stairs is a really good stimulus, but you just want it to be the stimulus. You don't want too much, otherwise you can get injury quite quickly through doing that. I would say definitely make it a good part of your training. I wouldn't be doing it every day. I'd maybe stick it to kind of one session a week with that. I don't know how much you're doing at the moment or your background, but I would definitely say start off with one a week, and it needs to be short at first, see how the body responds to it, and then look to increase from there. But yeah, I mean, stairs in multi-storey car parks are a great way to train, and particularly some races with lots of stairs, like Eddie just said, that will make a big difference, and you'll definitely get strength from that. Another way to do it is to add a weighted vest to climbing the stairs as well. That will also help, but you don't want to be descending in a weighted vest.
Use the lift. That's when you could use
then
the lift.
Then you'd use the lift.
Or you could send your vest down in the lift, and then I was just thinking then, I was imagining
you don't probably definitely don't want to be running around in a multi-store car park with a vest on. I would not be doing that right now.
I was just thinking about multi-store car park as well. Like, if you did it like when it was closed, you could go up the stairs and then run down the ramps that the cars come down, so you've got a smoother descent as well. Or you could go up this. I mean, could be
not
very
with your
dangerous.
vest on. Not with your
Not
vest
with the vest on. I would say, like, personally, this would be my last option of a training option. It would be something that I would probably maybe do once for like novelty, and then I would get a gym membership and use the treadmill for hills. And there's so much great hill sessions and work you can do on a treadmill. It's specific. It is, you can get that heart rate exactly in the right zone that you want to work on, and you don't need to worry about the downhills. And then I would get my diary out, and every 3 to 4 weeks, get out that city, girl, and go and find your nearest trails and get the legs exposed. That sounds weird. Get the legs exposed on the trails. Get your muscles working and get some fresh air on those trails.
It's a good way though, isn't it? Like, I do lean on the treadmill quite a lot, but I don't get any conditioning for going down the hills on the treadmill, while with the multi-story, if you get the lift, fair enough. I saw somebody did a session. They ran up the slope with a sledge and then they sledged back down to the bottom.
Oh,
I thought it was incredible.
That's fun.
Would you still get your vert on Strava in a multi-story car park, Gary? Because you might not get a signal, and then
I would
it be
find a
worth
way,
it?
Eddie. I would find a way.
Would,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Go and test it.
If I couldn't get it, I wouldn't do it.
I think there's lots of other ways that you can train. I mean, this is a great way to train, and it adds a bit of variety, especially if you're running in a town where it can be a lot of flat and the concrete can hurt your legs. But there's lots of other ways that you can get that strength for the uphills and the downhills as well, by looking at strength training, by looking at some power on the bike as well. So I think if we don't live in the place where we want to live, where we want to train, we have to really think outside the box. And this is a great way of thinking outside the box. But I think you could add lots of different ingredients into that box as well.
Thanks, Harrier Trail Running, for sponsoring our Strava Club and Tales from the Trails. Harrier is the UK's fastest growing brand for all trail runners, providing specialist kit designed for superior fit, comfort and function and the best customer support. Check them out for race vests, waterproofs, poles and other trail essentials. The Helvellyn Pro Carbon Z Pole version 2 are ultra lightweight, fixed length, 100% carbon trail running poles designed for ultramarathons in mind. Each pole weighs as little as 138 grams and folds down to a compact 35 centimetres. Every set comes with a carry case and exclusive access to the new comprehensive Pole Pro online course. And if you want to check them out, head over to harryrunfree.co.uk, and don't forget you can save 10% with the code TEASE10 or explore their brilliant trail bundles for a special 20% off. First up in the Strava Club is James Alexander, 56.6 miles for the week, 17.2 mile long run and 4,698 feet of vert. A couple of strength sessions for James, a solid long run. In the end of last year, James completed 99.46 miles as part of the Escape from Meridian run. That was during Storm Claudia. Impressive running in that storm. I googled it. 68 mile per hour winds recorded during that storm. That would have been oh my goodness me. Can you imagine the slog that would have been for 100 miles? Next up is Lucy Friend, 70 miles for the week with the longest run of 59.1 miles and 6,332 feet of vert. Lucy ran the Hong Kong 100 2026. I've just copied this straight from my Strava. First official 100 kilometre race. Love flying down Tai Mo Shan to the finish and glad my body can get me there. I'm getting to know more people each time and it's great to spend some miles with fellow crazies. Amazing atmosphere throughout and the scouts at some of those checkpoints were bursting with energy. A special thanks to Becky Parks for selflessly volunteering her services as crew extraordinaire. I am spoilt. I even earned myself a bronze award for a time I wasn't really expecting. It looked incredible. Fun times, Lucy. Well done. Paula Frame up next, 79.9 miles for the week with the longest run of 29.3 miles and 6,332 feet of vert. It's a request to follow, but yeah, 29.3 mile long run. That is incredible.
I worry sometimes about your Strava club, Gary. I worry about how deep you go into people's your background searches. And then I think, maybe you could do a side hustle and a bit of background searching as well, because you find out a lot about these people and you invest in them. If you spin the wheel and then you find them, then you're like, you really get into like
Have they got a co-op members card?
Yeah, that was the day they had to take the cat to the vet. I can see where their mileage was. Strength is a little bit off. Keep that routine going, James.
Not judgy.
No, you're not. But you're just, I find it, and I invest as you're telling me all about it. I build a picture of these people as well. And I'm like, oh, yeah, she did really well on this. Oh, that was nice. She had a friend to crew her.
This week's Heavy Flex comes from Jane Chadwick. I would like to nominate my running club for a Heavy Flex. We even made it to the BBC News. Link below. Almost 200 people ran or walked up and down a landmark Yorkshire Hill many times until they matched the equivalent height of Mount Everest, raising 15 grand for a cancer charity. The challenge, dubbed Cheverest, saw members of Otley Athletics Club tackle the Chevron in Otley, West Yorkshire, up to 48 times in a row in a 24-hour endurance event. They went off-road from Birdcage Walk to Surprise View, climbing the 8,849-metre elevation required to raise money for 2 local cancer charities after one of the club members was diagnosed with acute leukemia. 2 club members, Oliver Richards and Tom Lynch, completed the challenge of more than 62 miles on their own, whereas others pitched in to do a few laps as part of a team. I shared quite a few miles with Oliver in the Seven Valleys.
Didn't he smash you at the end?
All right, Eddie, God's sake, I'm going to mention that.
I was waiting for that.
Anyway, wow, 15 grand. That is absolutely incredible. Well done, everybody.
We need to do more, Gary. People like that are amazing.
Tales from the trails.
Hi, Eddie. Hi, Gary. This is Jill from Eastleigh near Southampton. Hi, Jill. I've just got back from an exhausting but amazing week at Arc of Attrition in Cornwall. You may remember my husband Martin wrote to you twice last year and very kindly read out both of his messages to encourage me to keep going after 2 years of injury with a plantar plate tear and a torn hamstring. I had to pull out both the Arc and UTS in 2025, but after months of physio, rehab and recovery and building back up into training again over the next 12 months, I finally got my day yesterday in the Arc 25 and I absolutely, caps lock, loved it. I volunteered, oh my God, these people. I volunteered for 4 days beforehand on registration and kit check and on the Pendine aid station helping the Arc 100 and Arc 50 runners. Yesterday I ran my race with a grin from ear to ear, singing along to tunes and generally feeling on top of the world. The family were at strategic points along the way to cheer me on and of course at the end to see me over the finish line. The other highlight of the event was my son Adam completing the Arc 12, having just turned 18 last week. It was his first big trail event and despite the nerves and excitement, he executed the race to perfection, coming, heavy flex, 17th overall amongst a number of seasoned and very experienced athletes in just over 12 hours. We also had to drive back to Southampton late last night. Adam had his driving test at 8 a.m. this morning, third attempt, and not so great planning on our part. Wait for it, drum roll, he passed! When I read that, first, I thought if she hasn't said whether he passed or not, I'm going to have to email back and ask. So he did the Arc 12 and then he went home. Do you think when he got in the car, he's like, oh, no, how old is he? He's 18, never felt his hamstrings in his life. No problems. No. Straight in the car, smashed it out.
Heavy flex, Adam.
Heavy flex. The podcast has kept me going through injury and plenty of dark times with motivating stories of tales on the trails and inspirational advice. Real people can do this trail running thing, even 52-year-old broken ones. So thank you both for helping me to realise you can pick yourself up time after time and live those dreams. Next up is UTS 50K. Please keep doing what you're doing. You're inspiring people everywhere. I'm not sure we are. That's from Jill Perry. I'm not sure we are. Gary's just told me that I talked for far too long and people are going to complain.
That wasn't exactly what I said.
No, but I like to paraphrase. And
52 years young, Jill. 52 years
young, Jill. What a legend. Thank you for updating us. We love being a very small part of your journey. We love your Tales from the Trails, heavy flexes, birthday shout-outs. Keep them coming. Email hello@teaandtrails.com and make sure you pop Tales from the Trails as the subject.
I wonder how much Adam's car insurance is going to be. Expensive. Thanks, Precision Fuel and Hydration, for bringing us home. Their website and newsletter are such good source of knowledge, articles to read, and YouTube content to binge on too. On YouTube, you can learn how to fuel an ultra marathon, what pro runners carry on race day, and how to nail your marathon prep. Precision Fuel and Hydration's handy-free online sweat test and nutrition planner will help you personalize your hydration and fueling strategy so you can perform at your best. I am out. The cupboards are bare, so I've ordered some floor gel for hard moves at the weekend. I'm going in strong with floor gel. I don't know how you felt. I was such a sticky mess after my recce's. Big gloves, gel wrappers. They are not.
It's the
best
zips. It's the zips on the on your bag.
I kept trying to tear the gel, but I was biting my glove at the same time. So yeah, it was an absolute nightmare. So yeah, I'm going to stock up on the floor gel. I think I'm going to go every 20 minutes for a gel.
For your marathon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will report back next week. Head over to www.precisionhydration.com and don't forget patrons get a whopping 20% off. But if you would like to try Precision Fuel and Hydration, then you are in luck. Use the code T2026 for 15% off your first purchase.
We thought this week, having both just done recce weekends, and am I remiss? Am I right in saying that was the first time you've done a double solo recce?
I don't think I've done double solos. I've done lots of double days, maybe even triple days.
Having to carry your stuff, it's a big, there's a lot, isn't it? So
Day one was heavy.
Talk me through your life. And lots of people are planning for recce's, and I do think the importance of a recce, it's money and it's time, which are two big things that lots of,
I took a hit. It wasn't
you take
changed,
a hit,
my goodness.
But what it gives back to you, the learnings are massive. And I always think if you're going to invest a lot in a race entry fee, and these big races are getting more and more expensive, plus everything else, like what you get back from a recce is huge. But also, not very often, they're the best part. They're fun. There's no pressure. If you can do with them, mates, even if you're by yourself, they're like a little mini break, a little time away from life.
I go in pubs that I've thought about for 2 years, cafes and stuff like that I'd never normally go in. All those little treats that I visualise as I'm deep in the trenches. But on a recce, you can do all that. But there's lots of different types of recce's. Like I did last year, I did the Swaledale, and I've done Saltburn a few times. So you could do the whole route if the race allows it. Or you could do chunks like what we both did.
You were the master of recce, aren't you? You love.
They're the best days. You're out on those trails, the trails that you love, but you don't have all the race day anxiety. What I took from my Northern Traverse recce, if you look at the profile from the line in to the finish, you could be forgiven for thinking that it's all downhill. And yeah, statistically it is. But the reality is there are still a few cheeky little climbs. Not even little. There's still some climbs, cheeky climbs over that section. So the elevation profile doesn't really tell the tale. And you can also get a feel for your distance and time between points. Like you said, it's a great time. You can test kit, what it's like to carry that actual kit, what it's like to rearrange your kit so it bounces differently on your back. Navigation. Luckily, this doesn't seem too bad, at least for the section I did. We all see it on these big races. Probably not so much these days, actually, where you see the dot just going off the trail for half a mile or whatever it is, and everyone's kind of typing on Facebook, somebody tell 264 where they're going.
Going the wrong way.
Nobody wants to do extra miles, and you do also get to appreciate what the actual trail is. Is it technical? How steep is it? Has it got bogs? Is it fell? Is it runnable? The things I look for when I'm planning a recce like this, it sounds really logistical and kind of all the nitty gritty, but yeah, you need to check if you can get a taxi to the start for your start, bus times, if there's maybe friends or people within your community that would offer you a lift, accommodation. For some recce's, when I was doing the Bob Graham especially, I would be so familiar with the route that there would be a few bail points if the weather turned.
Great
injury.
Idea. It's been too long. It takes you longer than you think.
Yeah, your bag will be heavier than probably race day. I think my bag was heavier. And this is why I chose a hotel. Oh, it was a pub. The only thing I had to carry was toothbrush and toothpaste. So I turned up in Robin Hood's Bay. I think it was like 3:30 or something, and the chippy shut at 4. And Robin Hood's Bay, at the end of January, it's not bustling like it is in July. So I know it sounds silly, but just be mindful. You've been out on the trail for 5-6 hours. I appreciate the support of the podcast. I'm not going to want to eat a Precision Fuel and Hydration gel, and I don't want to carry a litre of Healed Shake or whatever in my backpack. I want to get a sandwich or fish and chips or something like that. So do a bit of admin. I had my Apple Pay, I had my debit card, I had some cash, all of those little things just in case. Have an eye mask, have earbuds, because above a pub, it was pretty noisy and all that wind rattling around outside. Yeah, pack your underwear. if you're going to be wearing tights and you don't want blisters on your nuts. Lisa was very kindly brought me a little change of clothes when she picked me up, so I had an insulated jacket and some fresh clothes just to get out. Some soda cream or some red ambulance and a protein shake. Yeah, I just think they're invaluable. That the mindset of being out on the course, that climb out of Gromont, when you compare to the climbs that you did, and even at that point early on in the race, you would just think it was nothing. But when you say, I don't know, maybe like 160 miles in, it just feels like Everest. So, yeah, super valuable. What about yourself? What kind of things do you look for?
Well, I just thinking about that. And I think I've said it before when I've done a few recce's of this before and the spine before, is that you leave little parcels of joy on that trail where when come off Dixie Bite and you'll be like, this is where I felt. This is where I took the chaffing cream from Zoe. This is where Emma rang James. This is where Lucy and I peed against each other, butt cheeks nestling against the wall, and we laugh. All those little things that you take and you'll think about them on the trail when you're to be fair, there's not that joy you find in the race because you're in it. So I love leaving those little pockets of sunshine, of like your little bits of your soul. You can hear. You can hear the laughter. They're not really with you, but they're with you in spirit. And I love that on the recce. So yeah, a couple of things that I've learned having done loads of these now is when you book your hotel or B&B or whatever you're doing, check the check-in time so that you're not against the ropes where we had one ring us up saying, where are you? Check-in's till 9. It was only 7, but check. Or if you think you're going to be later, just say, I'm going to be later. I think it's best to book and where you can eat. So then you don't need to have a change of clothes. You can just put on, if you've got your spare base layer and leggings, you don't need shoes. So you don't need to put your muddy shoes back on. You can just go down into the pub and it's instant. You can get in your room, shower. I
didn't even go to my room. I checked in.
Or you can be dirty dog like Gary and order your tea. And then, so those would be the big thing. Check cafe stops. We perhaps overlook that slightly, but really hard in January because there's not a lot open as well. Yeah. Timing wise, I would look to doing those long days are really best, like 4 weeks max. I wouldn't do it, maybe even 3, depending on your experience and how big the days are going to be. 3 if they're not going to be as big. What I just did, which I would not, that is probably, we're 8 weeks out, aren't we? I probably wouldn't do that any closer because it's going to take me a good few days to recover. Yeah. And so you want to get back into a training cycle as well. So I think 6 to 4 weeks out is the best time if possible. If you've not done one before, then probably 2 days is good. 3 days is that third day, you're carrying a bit more, you've got to be a bit more. 3 days is a lot, but they are also fabulous. You get stuck in on that third day. I have a complete change of clothes, but I sleep in that as well until I just sleep in like pants and or just naked and pants, whatever. I would have a change of socks. I wouldn't take anything else. I could take, like you said, little toothpaste, rely on the hotel. I did take some shampoo and conditioner because I knew there wouldn't be any at the YHA, and the bouffant I do need. And I do, my little luxury is my hairbrush because I just hate not being able to brush my hair. Yeah, warm hat and a puffer, like really lightweight, like puffer for the evening, but apart from that you're really only carrying like food, water. First aid kits. Well, to be honest, for the race like Northern Traverse, it's pretty much what you're going to be running with. You want a complete spare kit, so if something happened you got totally wet, you could. I don't put that on even on the last day. I'll keep it dry and just put dirty stuff back on again, because then you've got it if anything happened as well, that you have got dry kit. I did enjoy, because I knew there's going to be a lot of solitude on the Northern Traverse, so there was some value in doing that on my own. And Saturday night, I was just completely selfish. I did all of my admin. I wasn't having to satisfy anybody else. I know this sounds really selfish, but I did everything I wanted to do. So there's some advantages from that. Also, Eddie, I got you a gift. I got you a pebble from the East Coast. So if you want to swap it with a West Coast pebble, just so you're not... I think the country's going to tip over eventually. Everybody taking... Thanks, babes. That's nice. I just thought, can I just tell you? I know I've talked a lot, but I've just got such a funny story to tell you about my journey home. So I set off from Reeth and I put it in. It's a long drive to get on the M6. You have to go across Tan Hill, the Tan Hill Road, 20 miles on a moorland road. I thought then I would hit a services. So I literally got into the car. I just changed my top, got in the car and thought, when I get to the services, I'll pop to the loo and get dry and I'm going to get some dirty, dirty chips. I'm going to get the best thigh snacks, which warm thigh snacks for the rest of it, just eat all the way home. Anyway, it was about 60 miles, Gary, to the services. I was dying. I was so hungry. I rang home and I got Evie on the phone because she's my best chatter. And I just got her to chat to me. She was watching something on Netflix and we were just chatting away. It was great. I got into the service station. I thought, I'm not sure I can walk I was like blood sugar so low, so stiff, got out of the car, hobbled in. I had my hat on, like, my hair was everywhere. It looked like a tramp. Walked into the loos and this cleaner came alongside me and she was like, are you okay? Are you okay? And I was like, yeah. Thinking she just thought, I was like, oh my God, I mustn't. And she was like, are you a man?
What?
And I was like, what? And I was like, no. And she's like, this is so awkward, but you're in the men's toilets.
Oh, goodness me.
So we both just pissed ourselves. And I looked around, because I hadn't even looked around. I looked around and it's all men. And I was like, oh my God. She was like, I didn't know what to say. So I followed you in because you've got to be careful these days. But I thought, I can't. So she said, I got really close up to you. And I was like, oh, thanks so much. And she took me down to the ladies. And then she was still waiting when I came back. She said, I'm so sorry. She said, I didn't know what to do. And I was like, oh, thank you so much. I said, I'm really tired. And I know I look questionable about what. It was why you had to get up so close to me to go, I'm not sure even if you're a human, but what are you?
She'll go home that night. You know what happened to work today?
There was this thing came into the services. That was the end of my recce story. That is how bad you look after 3 days with limited access to hygiene products and a huge red face.
You've got a couple of days. You've got to be super quick to take advantage of January's competition. It is supported by our friends Phoenix Light UK. One lucky listener could win a HM55R head torch. To be in with a chance of winning, you need to pop over to Instagram, like the post, tag a friend in the comments, share the post to your stories, and follow Tea and Trails and Phoenix Light UK. This competition closes at midnight on the 31st of January 2026, and it's a competition for Instagram only. One winner will be contacted by direct message. Good luck.
Thanks for tuning in. We love you. We love you for listening. We love you for sharing your tales on the trails. We love the little emails that pop in saying, hi guys. We love it all. Share the episode, share the pod, share the love. Pop over to Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and subscribe, or even consider becoming one of our Patreons. Thanks to X Miles, Precision Food and Hydration, Phoenix Light UK, and Harrier Trail Running for sponsoring this week's show. Here are the discount codes: TNT5 for Phoenix, T2026 Precision Food and Hydration, and T's10 for Harrier Trail Running. Thanks to our partners and patrons too. We couldn't do this without you and your awesome support.
Hope you all have a great weekend, and good luck to everybody heading to Saltburn for the hard mowers.
If you see Gary, he loves a little slap on the butt cheeks. Get going, Gary.
Hand on the ball. Or Kent for the Hellfire Events Backyard Ultra this weekend. Yeah, volunteers, race directors, and running. Hope you all have a blast, and say hello. Yeah, if you see me. Also on Saturday, we will both be at the running show along with Leonie, who's the Seven Valleys champ. Yeah, we're going to be there as part of the 13 Valleys event. So can't wait. Looking forward to it. Let the trail or tarmac rise to meet you, and the wind always be on your back. Be kind to your future self. Breathe and believe. Keep your shield high. And if all else fails, chase the ball. My name's Gary Thwaites.
And I'm Eddie Sutton.
And that was the award-winning Tea and Trails podcast.